Hey guys, here we go with just a quick video for you to help out with today's lesson. What we're basically looking at is the idea of comparing renewable and non-renewable resources and how it kind of relates to comparing renewable and non-renewable energies, just to try and get an idea of, how they relate and how maybe we can take everyday things and help us remember the bigger pictures when we're looking at energy. So our CO and LO for today, our CO is I will examine how renewable and non-renewable resources compare to renewable and non-renewable energies. And for the LO, I will complete a graphic organizer about how everyday items are renewable or non-renewable and how it compares to renewable and non-renewable energies. So in the graphic organizer, like I said, we're going to take just some everyday items and try and decide whether they're renewable or non-renewable. And with that information, hopefully get a better idea of what it's like to look at an energy and decide whether it is renewable or non-renewable. So first, let's review the idea of renewable and non-renewable resources. The slide here is the first part of our activity, so that's why I cut it out of there. And when we look at this, how might renewable resources be like renewable energies? Well, if we look back from what we've learned the past couple days, we know renewable energy, it can be replaced in a short amount of time. And so when we think about resources and we go back to our picture, when I think about plants, if I cut a plant down, it can grow back in a relatively short amount of time. Therefore, it's a renewable energy. Same thing with animals. I can raise a whole lot of animals over time to feed livestock and such. And so just thinking about it from the concept of, like I said, how long does it take to replace what's being used? On the flip side, when we look at the non-renewable resources, we want to think about how non-renewable resources are like non-renewable energies. When I think of things like coal and natural gas, it takes hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years to replace them. So even though they can be replaced due to the extended amount of time, it's not really considered renewable. We might get into some discussions come Zoom time, which I'm really looking forward to, on the idea of comparing it to reusing. But right now, we're just trying to decide, is it a renewable resource or is it a non-renewable? And as I said, a non-renewable resource requires a very long amount of time to replace. And that's what we need to remember. All right, so let's look at practice time. On the right over here, I have an image of a water bottle with what appears to be some water in it. So if I look at it, would you say it's a renewable or non-renewable resource? On top of that, could you argue for both? Well, the whole purpose in this activity is to try and get you to look at what you think it might be, or maybe what components might be. So when we get into it, it may take a little bit more on your behalf besides just some cutting and pasting. For example, with the water bottle, you can make the argument that the water is a renewable resource. It absolutely is. We can reuse the water pretty quickly. It goes through the water cycle, and it's not like it's used up. Whereas when we think about the plastic on the other hand, unless it's made of very biodegradable items, which means it can be broken down real quick, it's going to stay around a long time, and therefore, the idea of it renewable, not really as much. So remember, what we're going to do in here is we have to decide if each item is renewable or non-renewable. Does it take a long time to be able to reuse it, or can I reuse it fairly quickly? The next few slides are all the images found in today's activity. In the packet, you have the cutouts. You can cut and glue, or I'm going to have a copy of this slideshow on Classroom. So if you want to go in and create your own slideshow, make a copy of the slideshow, and you can cut and paste the pictures, do whatever you'd like with that, if that would help you. You know me, I'm open to it. I just want you to be able to clarify whether it's renewable or non-renewable. The other part about that is once you start deciding where they go, you might want to make some notes that tell you, hey, this is renewable, or hey, it's not renewable, and this is why I think. Or if you think it could be for both, it's perfectly fine to put up the argument for each. The whole thing is going back to like when we were talking about the advantages and disadvantages of renewable and non-renewable resources, what you may consider an important advantage, somebody else may not, but you need to be able to back it up. And so with that in mind, what I'm going to want you to be able to come and do is with the activity, and I'm going to show you the slides here in a second, but come for our Zoom meeting on Thursday. I want you to be ready with that document. And, if I call on you to answer what you think it is, yeah, you tell me whether you think it's renewable or non-renewable, but then again, why do you think that is? So it doesn't have to be a lot, but I'm going to do some cold calls on that. And I expect you to be able to help out with that. Here's the slides. I'm sorry, I'll move the video. Didn't think about that. As you can see, we have quite a few things here. We got the water bottle here. Here's a juice bottle, a shoe, toboggans, some eggs, motor oil, all kinds of stuff. And if you notice, it says the directions you to cut out each item, decide whether they're renewable or non-renewable. And in the packet, you have the sheet that you can cut and paste them to. If you don't have the packet, like I said, you can create a slide, or if you just want to print it off and make your own to put it in, that's fine also. The second picture, if I can get this going back right, there we go. Once again, a few more things. Here's a soda can, vegetables, a milk carton, looks like a flannel shirt, a chair, and then over here, gas. So there, you got everything you need there. So it should be simple enough that you just need to label these items. If you want to just label them on the sheets, I'm good with that also. But be ready to discuss them when we have our Zoom on Thursday. Last thing, please don't forget to do your exit ticket. And I should add to that also the attendance for the day, so we can keep that all caught up for everybody. I hope this helps out. Always here to help out when you need it. So with any luck, this will help you get through it. Remember, tomorrow, if you're running into some problems, go ahead and email me and we can talk about it. Otherwise, I will see you on Thursday in Zoom with your items ready to go. So until then, we will see you later. Bye.